Welcome home, neighbors.
Welcome home, neighbors.
Hello, neighbors.
We're listening from
Arizona,
Florida,
Maryland,
New York,
New Jersey,
Minneapolis,
California, Utah,
Michigan,
Iowa, Massachusetts,
Georgia, Canada,
our home resort is
Animal Kingdom,
Polynesia,
Bay Lake Tower,
Old Key West,
Riviera,
Boardwalk,
Alani Resort,
Hilton Head,
Boulder Ridge, Copper Creek,
Grand Floridian,
Saratoga Springs,
Beach Club,
and Wilderness Lodge.
and you're listening to
and you're listening
You're listening to my
Well, welcome home, neighbors, to episode 91 of Community Hall Podcast Live. My name is Shad Pennycuff. I am your host tonight, and we have got a great show lined up where we've done a little bit of research ahead of time, or at least Marianne has, and asking the My DVC Points community, where is the best places to watch fireworks? So we're going to go through her little compilation list tonight and chime in, tune in. We'd love to throw your comments up on the screen and interact with you as well. Before we get started on tonight's show, I want to do a huge shout out of thanks over to Monera Financial for sponsoring season 8 of the My DVC Points platform. And if you're paying more than 9.9% for your DVC contract, go ahead and check out their refinance programs. We've helped listeners save hundreds of thousands of dollars through their quick and easy refinance program. OneraFinancial.com. Let them know you heard about them here. Also, if you're looking to buy a new contract, they have multiple different credit models offered, from a no credit check to a credit check to competitive rates down as low as 9.9%. So let them know you heard about them here at My DVC Points, and head on over to MoneraFinancial.com if financing your contract is something that's appealing to your family as well. I always have to put that out there because I know some of us don't finance, or we don't finance a timeshare, but that's an individual deal, and I kind of want to respect everybody's opinions there as well. So let's jump into today's show. Let's welcome back to the stream Marianne.
Hi, guys. It's great to be here tonight to talk about one of my favorite parts of going to Disney World.
Yes. Yes. I mean, who doesn't love a good nighttime spectacular? I think other than Fantasmic, like, we're back, right?
I think so.
Disneyland has Fantasmic back.
Well,
why can't we? Okay.
Exactly. And, they've got a small projection show at Hollywood Studios, but there's no big fireworks or anything like that with their projection show. And it's kind of meh, I mean, it's clever to use the Chinese theater for that, but looking at the crowd standing out in front of it, you kind of go, so obviously it's thought of as meh, because nobody's out there watching it. It's a 300-400 people versus thousands, which is what a typical nighttime spectacular is.
The other thing I think that goes on at Hollywood Studios here is that area was just not built for a fireworks spectacular projection show. So there's no really good big object to project on after we got the projector stuff. So they've kind of retrofitting it in there, but there's just so many trees and everything else along in that area. You can't even get a good view of fireworks. So
I did enjoy talking about Hollywood Studios back when they did this Star Wars projection and fireworks show. It was pretty clever how they did that with the projections and telling the Star Wars story along with some very minor fireworks, but there were some. But it's nothing like what we get over at Epcot and over at Magic Kingdom.
Well, I'm going to let you kind of lead this, Marianne. So where do you want to talk about first? And
well, let's talk about Magic Kingdom, because that was kind of the one that I thought we had a lot of community response to and talking about. And I think everybody has an opinion, right? And everybody's opinion is a different place. And it's great because it gives you more opportunities to learn better spots to go to and sit at. So, I think Disney would like for all of us to believe that right there in the hub, right there in the middle of everybody, is where you need to be to see the fireworks. I mean, it's very obvious that that's Disney's ideal place for you to watch is in the hub.
Yeah, it used to be a lot more of a discussion as to where we could come back in and watch the fireworks.
Right.
But now, as you're seeing with this castle right, here, and everything being projected on the castle, you've pretty much got line of sight in front of the castle. And that's kind of it, unless you're going for some unique perspectives on things as well.
Now, you can go on back down Main Street a little bit. And now that they've been doing projections along Main Street, it kind of feels a little 360-ish. One night at Magic Kingdom on our last trip, the kids didn't want to watch fireworks. They had no interest. So I went on down there because I was curious what the view would be like down a little bit further on Main Street. So I went to that hub area right in front of the train station to watch.
Okay.
Kind of near the front of it.
Okay.
There's a statue there. I don't remember which statue that is because we run past those statues. I know, sacrilege. And it was kind of interesting to watch the fireworks from that view because you didn't only get the castle projections, which were pretty far away. I mean, I'm not going to say the castle projections were great, but you did get all of the projections down Main Street too, right there, which were kind of interesting. And they were focusing your attention forward towards the castle, which was interesting. And, I kind of enjoyed the fireworks there because I wasn't sitting like this the whole time to look up to see the fireworks. I was able to just kind of just sit there and just kind of enjoy them. And they were just right there, and it was kind of an interesting place to watch. And it's not often open, but if it was ever open to you, I think actually up on top of the train station would also be a fabulous place to watch. I've heard that in the past that's kind of a VIP area.
Yes, it's like a VIP tour area, and Club 33 members go up there for their dedicated viewing
Right.
when they're in town. So
that's it, if you were able to score that, I think that would be a really interesting area to watch. But what I did like from down in my spot down there by just right in front of that statue, what I did like about that was I didn't feel packed in. I couldn't smell my neighbor. Right?
Well, must not have been a busy night because I'm telling you,
it wasn't super busy, but it was a late hours night. And that might have affected it because it was one of those nights that Magic Kingdom was open for on-site guests, which if you're staying on your DVC points, you're going to be eligible for this because you're going to be staying in a deluxe resort. And so the park was open till 11. And so the kids had run off and they were not going to waste any time on fireworks. They wanted to ride during that time. So
yeah, that's typically my deal. Although now on Friday nights, I'm kind of friends with a friend of Tinkerbell.
Sure.
And so I tend to hang out. This is my little path. I usually get here if it's a 9 o'clock fireworks. I'll usually try to roll into the front gate at about 8:50.
Right.
And then I'll come back in through here and I'll take this little backward path.
Oh, sure.
Like right in through here.
If the backward path is open, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's usually open right before fireworks, right? And then I take this backward path over here.
In the no-see-em green hallway is what I call it. So.
And then I come by the purple wall.
Sure.
And then I come around here from Tomorrowland. And then I stand on this bridge right here.
Oh, so you get a really nice view of Tink from that spot.
Yes, that is the optimal Tinkerbell viewing spot. Okay. And it's kind of cool because you can actually see she waves and kind of know she's waving at you. So it's
right.
She can hear when we yell as well.
So, oh, that's awesome. That's
yep,
awesome.
Yep.
I would say a really great other view for Tinkerbell that we've experienced before was at the dessert party, but not the one where you go out and sit in the grass. The one where they give you chairs. It costs a little bit more money, but it's in this building right here.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
And it was very comfortable that we had a right by the rail, right by the water seat, right up here. We could see the projections fine. We could see some of the fireworks fine. There was a couple of trees. But man, I felt like Tink was going to land on our heads. And so that was
that's true.
really, I mean, literally, we could see her face from there, clearly see her face. And there was a family with a little girl sitting next to us, and she about lost her mind. She was like, "Oh, oh, oh," and of course that made me tear up, because I'm like, oh, so.
It is. Now, here's my other go-to place, and I'll share it just because we're zoomed in. And if like new people or once in a lifetime people go and ask me, hey, where should I go to come back in and see the fireworks? And my answer is always these little tables right here. If you camp out and you can get that first row of table about 2 hours earlier, notice that there's umbrellas there. So you have some protection from the sun while you're camping out while it's still sunny. And then you've also got, if it happens to rain, some protection there. But look at this. This is a walkway in front of this. And so you are not allowed, they do not let people stand here.
Right.
The cast members will shoo them out of there. So you're literally sitting the entire time and you've got a straight up shot view of everything here at the castle and everything going on.
And it'll be a great viewpoint because if you go back, scooped back in there, Chad, to that spot, the grass right in front of that is the hub grass. That's the grass that they have the dessert party. If you pay for the dessert party, that is where you're going to be seated for fireworks. And the best spot in there is not at the front, because the sidewalk in front of that, they allow people to stand on. The best spot is here on the very back of it, by the back fence of that hub grass. And you can pretty much camp out right there and see it all, because even when everybody stands, there's just a little bit of space. Everybody scoots up to that front rail there in that grassy area. And so there's usually a lot of space right there in front of you, and you can see very clearly for that. And I'm one of those people that believes time is money. And so often for my family, I go ahead and pay for that dessert party viewing. I did not this time, because if you go over to the other hub grass, Chad, on the other exact opposite side, this hub grass right in front of Casey's is where the VIP tours are seated for fireworks. So that there's another thing I looked at when we went on our VIP tour, 10 people splitting it. I had 4 people, right? So part of my Disney math to make it work, Chad, was to say, okay, at Disney, what would a dessert party cost me? How much is a dessert party going to cost me? So knock that off of the price of each of us individually going on that VIP tour. Because I would have probably been paying for a dessert party that night. And hey, my VIP tour guide brought us all ice cream. So we were set. I had my dessert party right there on the opposite side, Hubgrass. And again, it was a great place. You got
Mickey bars for your dessert party.
We did get Mickey bars, or well, you could pick between what all those, Mickey bar sandwich and the frozen strawberry. Now, according to people in our community, there's Sing Wong would tell you right up there next to Walt is the very best place to see it.
I can't disagree with him. If you can get right here.
Yep. And he's got a beautiful picture in our thread about this on the community. So that's kind of, I was like, okay, there we go. And so that was really beautiful. And then Sean Borum posted some beautiful pictures, one from the Hubgrass and one from down Main Street, talking about, and his opinion was that there was more projections. You could see more projections, and you had less of the light poles in your view the little bit further down Main Street you were. Because I think that funnel view does funnel some of that it does filter some of that
So
out.
he's saying come down into this area. then.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because you miss some of that, which I think is interesting. So let's see, is anybody else around there in the hub before we move on to other parts of the park? And then I think we'll move on to other parts of the park here, Chad. Let's go to our family-friendly. If loud noises and crowds are a problem for your family like they are for our friend Caleb Allison, he says his favorite spot is over in Adventureland. There are some benches to the left of Aloha Isle in front of the Tiki Room. It's a great place to watch with a Dole Whip and a seat and no crowds. Yes, you miss some of the projections, he says. You miss all the projections, but the fireworks view is beautiful. And he has a picture of it he gave me picture proof of how great the view is. And I don't know, a Dole Whip and fireworks.
You hand me a Dole Whip, Marianne.
That might be right. That might be the very best option. And Joseph Vincent agrees with him. He says, "You've exposed my secret spot," which makes me laugh. So, and his family usually there's some place where there's a popcorn cart, and they might possibly get some popcorn. And the other nice thing is that because everybody is out of the Adventureland area, right? They've scooted on to watch the fireworks. He says that Jungle Cruise is almost always a walk-on immediately after fireworks are over.
That's the other pro tip there.
Which is a pro tip.
Because it's going to be firework. Yeah. During fireworks, everybody goes there. So if you're in these off areas, you're going to be able to get really good access to and be ahead of the crowd coming from the fireworks. Because a lot of people are just going to leave. Some people are going to go back in for more rides. You can just jump on a ride there as well.
Right.
Some of my favorite rides during fireworks is right over here at Big Thunder.
Yes, and we have some friends of ours that agree. Our friend Derek Birdsell says the exit of Big Thunder is a great place if you just want to watch the fireworks. I think if you can get on the ride during fireworks,
it's even better.
It makes fireworks very exciting on the ride. And I love that view when you come right down Splash and fireworks are coming all around you. Granted, you probably miss more of the fireworks show than maybe you would want to if your goal was fireworks. But if your goal was rides during fireworks, I think that would have to be really high on my list of ones I'd want to do. It would be Splash and Big Thunder.
Yeah, definitely. And then I've heard people talk about the carousel.
Yes, our friend Jake says his very favorite spot is back behind the castle near the carousel. It's almost always relatively empty. Thanks. Good job, producer Rachel. It's relatively empty. And you can still hear the music clearly and see the fireworks without an obstruction. I think that's great. And I think the fireworks might be a little more intense back there just because you're kind of back where they're actually setting them off,
Yeah, because they're launching them right back in this area.
Right.
So back over in here is actually fireworks launching stuff.
Depending on the wind, that area behind the castle can be a fallout zone.
Yeah.
So, Storybook Circus. You have to look straight up, but it was still a nice and not busy spot. Ooh, Dumbo and fireworks. That might be kind of fun.
Dumbo and fireworks is kind of cool too. It's another great ride. Yeah.
Just talking about classic Disney, right? And doing things
7D
like
and
that.
fireworks, if you can time that right as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love seats and treats at Tomorrowland Terrace. Tommy, I'm right there with you. I'm that girl. I'll be happy to pay for my seat.
And then Frank says, I like floating on the Seven Seas Lagoons on a pontoon boat to watch the fireworks. It's pretty reasonably priced.
Yep.
And that's not a bad option either.
Yep. We were going to get to our out of the park ones here in a second. Um, one last area. Let's talk about Tomorrowland.
Okay.
So a lot of times my kids are crazy to ride Space Mountain, and we all know that that's the traction ride for any of us over 40, right? We all need traction after we get off that, or a chiropractor visit the next morning. And so I usually skip it. So I take myself over to the People Mover. I think the People Mover is a really fun ride during fireworks.
It is. It is.
So, because it goes from different spots throughout Tomorrowland, and so you can see the fireworks from different perspectives. And another one I think that I've never done it, but I think it would be awesome, would be Astro Orbiter if you could time it.
Astro
Right.
Orbiter during fireworks is phenomenal. I'm just gonna Astro Orbiter at night in general
Yes.
is worth the wait. Wait till the little kitties are tired and they're gone. Okay. And you don't want to bake in the sun at Astro Orbiter anyway. So
No.
you can just skip Astro Orbiter during the day. But at nighttime, when it starts to cool down a little bit and you can be up there and go up high with all the fireworks, oh my gosh, it's glorious. It's just absolutely positively glorious.
So if we're going to leave, oh, did I just say leave the Magic Kingdom to watch fireworks? I think we'd all agree that if you have the opportunity to watch from anywhere at Bay Lake Tower, it's a fantastic place to watch.
Yeah.
If you have a room that has a fireworks view, holy cow. To kind of have that privacy and quiet but still have the music and still see, I think that might rank really high on a really great anniversary or honeymoon trip, people. I really do.
Telling
I think it
you,
would be great.
the Magic Kingdom fireworks view for the whole trip, not worth it. For a couple of nights to just come back in and take in the fireworks from over down here at Bay Lake. And I was up there at Top of the World for the Villains party, 2 weeks ago?
Sure.
3 weeks ago, something like that.
Sure.
And it was phenomenal. It was every bit as awesome as I ever remembered it was, if not more so, because it had been so long. And
but there's other places you do not have to. And right now, with Top of the World access being kind of a pain,
it's going to be wonky for the next couple of weeks.
Right. And hopefully after the 11th, it's going to shake itself out. We'll have to wait and see. But there's other places there at Bay Lake Tower where you can have public access to watch the fireworks, because there's a bridge, correct?
Yes. So there is a bridge, and we'll just come back in and zoom in on it right here. And you can see the bridge right here. That bridge can get really, 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 really windy. It is getting for some refurbishment here pretty soon, but there's some open areas in the bridge as well. And I'm telling you, hold on to your hats and glasses. It is that windy. But if you can stand on that bridge, that's a great place.
Right. If you've gone and planned on going up to Top of the World and then all of a sudden find out you can't go up to Top of the World, don't fret. It's not all over.
The other little pro tip here is if you can't get up to the Top of the World for whatever reason, you can still come back into the Contemporary and then go up on the hotel side, and all of these little balconies up here, the little emergency exits right in this area, all have a really great view of the fireworks as well.
See, there's always options. There's always options so you don't have to pay $55 for
Well, and the $55, just to be honest, is a little thing DVC. They thought it would be inundated, so they wanted to sell tables, but they wanted to be like, okay, if we're going to sell a table, we need to make sure people buy something.
Exactly. No,
so
I think
it was a drink, a dessert, and a snack for $55, which is about what you would spend anyways up there.
It is. And don't forget to tip your waiter and waitress. They've been waiting all evening for you. So
yes, tip well at Top of the World when you go up there, guys. So that whole restaurant is a profit. The only way that we have staff up there, and the only way we can keep Top of the World, is if people go up there and spend money. Because the staff and all that are not paid for by DVC. They're paid for by food and beverage sales, and tips. So
when we come down off of the Contemporary, if you're going to hop on the monorail, sometimes the monorail is actually kind of a fun place to watch fireworks from. as you're zipping around. It might not be the best view ever, but hey, if you're in transit during that time, don't forget to look that way, right? Don't just ignore it. Maybe it's a good time if you don't want to stay that night for fireworks and you want to bug out before the crowd, jump on the monorail and ride it around, on your way.
Yeah,
But
monorail's always an interesting option,
it
especially
is.
if you're not buying a park ticket as well.
Exactly.
And then, so I guess if we start coming around here, we've got this big undevelopable area right in here
Right.
where the soil's just not going to hold a resort. The boats are not a bad spot if
No.
you're stuck on TTC and you're coming back and forth,
Nope.
or over here at the beach at Poly.
The beach at Poly is a really great one if you can access it easily. We all know that it's been a little harder to access when you're not staying there, but I think as long as you're on Disney World transportation, you can access it just fine. And I think that the Poly Beach, I will tell you, there is nothing lovelier than fireworks on the Poly Beach. We were there for a New Year's fireworks on the Poly Beach, and you can't be in the DVC area as much because I don't think the look is as good there, but on the beach is great. Sophie.
That's the other pro tip as well. And thanks for bringing that up, Frank. If you have ate at California Grill,
anytime in the day,
you can use your receipt to get back up there during fireworks or show it to get up to Top of the World. So that is a neat little pro tip as well, right there.
Exactly.
How to get up there for
the bottom of the monorail wrap looking over the left of the train station. Oh yeah, that would be a good place.
So help me out here. The bottom of the monorail ramp here at TTC.
I think he's thinking at the Kingdom. The monorail ramp at the Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right there. At the bottom of the ramp looking over the top of the train station before you're down so far in it.
Oh, okay.
Just looking out that way. I think that would be a good view. Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm down with that as well.
I'd be curious what the walking path view would be walking back towards Grand Flow. I haven't done that yet. I'd be curious to know some of our Grand Flow people, if you've done that, where you walk, back, if they're a good spot to stop and watch fireworks. Grand Flow has never been a big one that people have talked about as one to watch the fireworks from.
Citrico's, over here, where is it? At Narcoossee's?
At the restaurants.
At the restaurants?
Sure.
That was pretty nice. You're in here in this little area, right down here, waterfront, table front. That was some decent fireworks viewing as well. Scheduling that then. So not gonna lie there. And
obviously anywhere there on the Seven Sea Lagoon, if you're on one of the specialty fireworks cruises that Disney does, those would be fantastic.
Yep.
And
the other thing I think it's important to point out, and we're backtracking a little bit here, but I always liked, there is another one of my favorite spots. It is right here, right about where that photo thing is.
Sure.
And it's a shoe shine seat. And so you climb up into this shoe shine seat. Tongue twister here for COVID, right? But you're looking straight down Main Street.
Oh yeah.
And it is a great place to just sit there and wait for family to catch up, even if it's not fireworks, to take it in. But I think any conversation of this would be amiss if you didn't point out the closer you are to the exit, if you intend to leave after fireworks, the better it is.
Right.
Because there's 60,000 people rushing those gates to get out of there. So if I can be in front of 50,000 of them, it's just all that much better. Okay.
So, Chad, before we scooch over to talk about Epcot fireworks, let's go through our comments real quick
Okay.
and see if anybody else has any great ideas that we haven't covered because, they're smarter than we are.
Yeah. So Jennifer Ferguson saying the boat dock over here at Grand Flow, which is right next to Narcoossee's. Okay.
Yeah, that would be a good spot.
That's a great spot as well.
And those little speedy boats that take you back and forth probably would be fun too if you didn't want to spend money on a fireworks cruise but wanted to get on one of those little speedy boats that goes back and forth to Magic Kingdom. The little water taxi like ones. That'd be fun. Somebody on Facebook always likes to play in the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at the same time to have a fireworks above us as we ride. I think that would be really fun.
I think that one's like really hard to plan. Okay?
I think it would be too. There's a lot of indoor time on Seven Dwarfs. It's a harder one where you're outside for all of Big Thunder. So it's easier to, you can almost time that one a little bit better.
Yeah. Because there's just so much inside and queue time, everything else.
Right.
And then Grant asked the question here, is it hard to get up to top of the world to have a snack and see fireworks? I would say rope drop it if you're going, Grant, and we'll know more after August 11th when these reservation failure stuff goes away. That thing's just been a nightmare and a half. It just hasn't worked out well.
If it goes away.
It'll go away.
You think?
Yeah, it'll definitely go away.
Chad Pennycuff here tonight. Chad Pennycuff, he said it's going away.
Yeah, that was a DVC deal. It had nothing to do with the leadership of the restaurant management.
And I'm sure they want it to be gone because I'm sure they want to be able to turn tables. So
yeah, they need to be able to turn tables and get people through there. And it's a fail right now because you essentially reserve a table for the whole night. And one table doing $55 is not going to sell enough food, beverage, alcohol, drinks, and turning tables. So yeah.
No, it won't. So all right. Any other fun ideas out there from our community?
Yeah. And Rachel, did we miss any comments here? Should we pull any up before we move out of MK? I guess she's saying move on to best places to watch Harmonious. Okay, well, let's zoom on over then. And
okay, everybody, put on your seatbelts. Keep your hands and arms inside the ride at all times as we fly from Magic Kingdom on our new Skyway version of Seeing the View tonight.
So I'm going to lead off with my favorite place to do this.
All right, you tell us.
Okay, and it is right over here at the refreshment port. This is my new favorite spot. And let me tell you the reason why. Is if you look from here, from refreshment port over to the Stargazers, there's not a whole lot in between. And at night, they shut down that refreshment port at 9:00 sharp, right when that happens. And I just happened to be the last customer of the night getting poutine one night when I realized, hey, that you've got covered spots right here if it starts to rain.
Oh.
And that's elevated. That's built up. So you can stand up here at the windows at 9:00 when they shut the windows. It's fair game to stay there under the cover of rain, snow, whatever. I mean, I don't think it's going to snow too much in Florida. Hope not. I have seen it a couple times, but yeah, but you've got covered there. You're elevated up above,
and there's
crowds.
Not really any trees in your way because the DVC booth, which is right next door to the refreshment port, there's that outcropping of trees right there.
Yep.
That's going to be right in your way. So you couldn't really stand there, but you could at the refreshment port. Oh, that's a wise place, Chad Pennycuff.
Yep. So that's the Chad Pennycuff secret spot now. And I just happened to stumble on it one night when I think it was for a Moonlight Magic this year or right around that time when we were doing those Epcot ones. The other part that, everybody talks about is over here at the Japan Pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, where's Japan?
On the other side.
Okay.
There
it is. It's hard to find the little Shogun symbol. But right up here on the I guess there's a elevated walkway and an elevated railing out here.
Yes, there is, to going into that restaurant up there.
Yeah, it's partially obstructed if you ask me, but it's still not bad because you're looking over people. You've got
Well, and the nice part of that is there can only be so many people up there, and
Mhm,
it's kind of a hidden spot, so you're not packed in like sardines watching it up there either.
correct.
So that's the nice thing about that spot. Now, if you ask Disney World where they want you to stand to watch this, they're going to send you all the way back to the opposite side of the lagoon here,
Yeah,
where
don't do that.
I know. But this we should talk about where Disney wants you to stand. Disney wants you to stand here and here, kind of in this center area, right? Over on the as I'm looking at it, right-hand side, there's a store there. One of the 2 stores that the front of that store, right there, there it is. The front of that store there, that walkway there looks like a great spot. Of course, it looks like a great spot. That's their handicap accessible spot. So that is where they put all of the wheelchair guests and all the scooter guests. So if you don't have a person like that, don't go running there thinking that that's where you're going to stand, because they're going to shoo you out if you don't have one. So if that saves you a couple minutes of time and trying to find a good spot. I think everybody probably should see the show once from the front position, because that's the way it was intended to be seen. But after that, I think the World Showcase is your oyster. We stood in front of Mexico, just on the other side of one of the restaurants. I've heard of people standing or being in on the patio of La Hacienda there and
Yep.
watching and thinking that was a great spot to watch this show.
I tend to think you need to be square up to the Stargate, which is,
Mhm.
right in here.
Right.
And so I'm not a big fan of it, although I have heard people that have this is a fireworks viewing area right here for like a dessert party.
Right. Is that the Rose and Crown one?
No, Rose and Crown is way over in
Way over
here.
here,
This
because
one's
that Rose and Crown is a dessert party one
yes, Rose and
also.
Crown sell some for their outdoor seatings, but this is like a booked. And I know the geeks booked this one night, and they had to sell 100 tickets at like 80 or 90 or $100 each
Wow.
in order to book this little island spot down here. And they did it, and they said it was a phenomenal thing. So maybe we'll grow in one of our meetups one of these days to do that.
Yeah.
And then if you rent a pontoon boat and do it, they all dock over in this area.
Right.
If you go on one of the fireworks cruises there. And Frank is saying for Harmonious, you want to be near one of those cannons near the end of the show.
Sure.
And that's like the little octopus arm deals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people like Italy also. If you go over to where the Italy Pavilion is, if they haven't already booked that little area out there, that often is reserved area, for other guests and things, they all pay, just like we're talking about $80-$90 a person kind of party event there. But if they're not, that's a great place to watch. Also, just along the railings there is not a bad place between there and American Pavilion, and over in the Germany Pavilion over there to watch. So the real problem with Epcot is beautiful and has got a lot of beautiful trees, and it's hard to find. You've just got to find a spot that doesn't have a tree in your way to watch. And the fact that this particular projection show, the projections themselves, where at Magic Kingdom they have the whole castle to do the projections on. Here they have a very large but small Stargate and a couple of fans. I guess I call them, half, they look like water fans out there. But it's not nearly the space as the big castle to put projections on. So, uh-oh. Did we lose Chad's voice? Or
And
did
no,
I? Oh,
and it's
okay.
not as high either.
Right.
because Epcot is like technically a lot closer to my house than Magic Kingdom,
Mhm.
but they don't shoot the fireworks that high at Epcot so that you can't see them from forever. In a way, it's meant to be consumed right there inside the World Showcase and inside the park. Whereas Magic Kingdom, my gosh, they light it up for miles upon miles upon miles out here.
Right.
You can see fireworks there.
So there's lots of, there are probably lots of little nooks and crannies that you can get in and watch the fireworks and enjoy the show. But this show really has the issue of how the projections play into this one and the inability to see them
Yeah,
well from all the other places. The area outside of France isn't particularly good, because you're at a weird angle, and it's not like where you have the fireworks view on at least free transportation boats across there. They shut them down. Now you can rent a fireworks cruise for Epcot. They'll pick you up over at Beach Club Boardwalk area, and they come right into this back area where the boats can go into the lake, but they don't go very far in. They're way over here in the
they tend to hang out over in this area.
yeah. So,
Is
but
where they do. Now I will.
while I can't imagine the projections are very good over there though.
They're okay at best.
And you're paying a lot of money for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wouldn't be my ideal if I were to say this is my ideal spot to do it. The
Right.
only thing I can say there is it's a limited boat and limited seating, and you're not like on top of each other sardine wise.
Right.
So
And when you're done, it's taking you back out to Boardwalk Beach Club area to drop you off. So you're not messing with the hordes of people trying to get out of the park at the
yeah,
end
you're
of the
already
night.
on your transportation for your ticket out of there.
So if you're hopefully staying over there in Crescent Lake, that would mean that would be the way to do that, is a night when you were staying over in the Crescent Lake area.
Yeah. Let's talk for a minute about bridges as well.
Okay.
Because this bridge right here
Sure.
that's the first bridge coming from the UK into France is
Sure.
a decent spot as well. Here you're kind of parallel to the fireworks and the action, so
Right.
I don't find a lot of love on that bridge, but this one tends to have some people gathering on it. And then if you don't have a park ticket as well, this bridge from over down in here at Boardwalk that connects over to Beach Club is a
Mhm.
great spot to just sit there and watch the fireworks
Oh,
from.
sure. Oh, that'd be
You're
a
not going to see
great
much
one.
projections there, but you will get a really good view of the fireworks.
Yeah, you won't get any projections there at all, but you
Yeah.
will get, that would be a great place too, is if you planned on staying for fireworks, but your people aren't going to do it, and you're staying over there in Crescent Lake, so you scoot out International Gateway before the fireworks stop. You get to that bridge and you turn around and stop and take a few minutes break while you're watching
Yep.
the fireworks before you head on back to your resort. That would be a lovely, lovely choice for an evening.
Yeah. Yeah. And back in the day, just while we're here, there used to be some rooms over at Beach Club, because this building right here is the DBC building.
Right.
There used to be some rooms you could request on a high floor up in here that had decent fireworks views. Now that the trees and the foliage have pretty much grown up to the point where they're iffy at best.
Right.
So people occasionally ask about fireworks views from Beach Club. And then there are some good Beach Club Epcot fireworks views over here at the boardwalk.
Yeah, if you
So-
have one of those boardwalk views and you're actually in one of those boardwalk view rooms, you're probably going to have pretty decent fireworks views from your balcony, especially if you're high.
Yep.
Probably those 3-bedroom ones have the best. I'm just going to
Yeah.
say those 3-bedroom villas, people.
Yep.
So, the one thing I did really enjoy about in Harmonious, I really enjoyed the soundtrack more than I thought I was going to. And actually didn't mind just strolling because we didn't really stop to watch the fireworks this last trip. But I did kind of enjoy strolling around. We were kind of started in the Germany area and walked back towards the Mexico area and just strolling along the lake, listening to the music, watching the fireworks. Occasionally we got a glimpse of the projections that were interesting. We would stop for a minute, and we could find little nooks and crannies along that side where we could see and we could, stop for a minute on our journey across the World Showcase over there.
Yeah, and we did have a comment pop up about the Riviera as well. And let's talk about that as well, because the ironic thing there is the standard view rooms generally have better fireworks views than the preferred view rooms. And DVC members would rather see fireworks than overlook Caribbean Beach. So they've kind of got their room categorizations all wrong.
Well, and it's so funny because aren't the standard view rooms also closer to everything?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind of. It just
Here,
felt like it was totally backwards from what you would want it to be.
yeah. So right there's Epcot right across the road here. Now these are preferred on this side, and they do have a great little fireworks view. Okay.
Mm.
But everything like that corner right there is all of the little 2-person studios.
Oh, okay.
And then all of this down through here is standard. And look, it's all got a decent fireworks view. Whereas if you're in these preferred views all the way in through here, you're looking at Caribbean Beach. Who cares? Like it's
Oh, Disney World. Oh,
yeah,
Disney World.
yeah. I will give them this. They should have called these preferred fireworks views and made them even more points, right?
Yeah, but let's not give anybody any ideas.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they make some more, they're going to make some less. So
Yeah, that's very true.
and God knows they should be making the ones over here in this corner less because you're right above the smoking area.
Oh gosh.
Like
Oh my gosh.
it's yeah. That just wasn't done well at all. But anyways, that's not the fireworks we're talking about. Sophia is saying that Boardwalk is really the best for fireworks,
Okay.
and I could see that as well. We could definitely see that as well. And then Franca saying the second story of Dance Hall is also a huge hidden gem.
Ooh, that's a
And
good
so let's come back
idea.
in and look at that. So because you're over here at the dance hall, right?
Oh yeah, that would be a great
And
position.
you're pretty much going boom straight over there. If you can get some height and look over some of this stuff, yes, absolutely.
Ah, yes. The Skyliner View. It's kind of, it's one of those things that, again, I am sure that the fireworks look fantastic from up there. You just got to pray that the Skyliner's going to be going.
Yeah.
Right?
If there's no lightning in the area, whatever.
Or 30 miles away that's going to stop the Skyliner from going. But yeah, I can imagine that would be really, really great. And if Hollywood Studios does bring back some fireworks at some point, that would be a really cool to time between the fireworks, right in between the two parks.
Yeah, that would be, because over here you're pretty much, taking this route right here for the
Right.
for that. And
Right.
then their fireworks hub is kind of back over in this area.
Yeah. It could be fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be better if you were more parallel to it, but you're
Sure.
kind of coming straight on at it. So we'll see. At least at Epcot, when you ride the Skyliner there, you're parallel to it, a lot of it. Because the
Absolutely.
Skyliner is kind of coming from here, and it's really just kind of wrapping around Epcot to get over to Riviera. It makes a big C over here.
Yeah. So it could be, I can see that the fireworks view would have been fantastic from the Skyliner.
Yeah.
So,
And Yeah. Okay.
So that's great. Well, you know what? What I really appreciate about our community, Chad, is that everyone has a different opinion and everyone's very willing to
Mhm.
share their secret spots with you and with their neighbors and help each other out for what's best, because what's best for your trip one time may not be best for your trip the next time. And so
And
this
I think
crowdsourcing thing really works well in our community, and I appreciate it. And I want to just thank everybody who pitched in and gave me some ideas, and all the people who commented tonight. It's been great to be able to kind of make a plan this way. So,
this makes great plan B planning. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you
yes.
could just kind of file away into your head the little nuggets in places to come back in, because a lot of times you got to shift to plan B.
Mhm.
Something's not right. You're not where you need to be or where you think you need to be. But if you can go, oh, yeah, I'm stuck here and I can go over to Refreshment Port and climb up
Mhm.
on that little hill there and check this out. That might not be a bad option for you as well. Might not be a bad option. So that's kind of what I like about shows like this is, but I do appreciate everybody chiming in. And Rachel, I'm going to do one final call here to see if we've missed anything. If not, I will wrap us up and you can roll the video here. Any final thoughts here, Marianne?
I think that I think all of these spots, these hidden gem spots for fireworks, were better before projections. I'm just going to be honest about that. But projections are here to stay. So I won't cry anymore about having to
I want the
find a
kites
way.
back from Harmonious if we're going to go there. Those were cool.
Yeah,
The jet
exactly.
skis and the
Yeah, I mean, just there. Let's be, if we're gonna, but I think though too, the nice thing about your plan B spots or your hidden gem spots to watch fireworks, if you've already been in the big crowd and watched those fireworks with the projections really well once or twice, I think take advantage. That's the best part about being DVC, Chad. We're
Mhm.
coming back. Just like Lincoln says in the opener of the show, we're coming back, right, Dad? I
Yep.
mean, it's never our last time at Disney. We're always planning the next time. So go ahead and you know what? Go watch those fireworks while riding Big Thunder and enjoy the low crowds over in that part of the park while everybody else is jammed in front of the castle.
Yeah.
So that would be my last thing, is
Okay. Yeah. Always be on the lookout for new things, try things out, and report back to them. Post the
yeah.
pictures in the community group. We'd love to hear from everybody as well.
Yep, share your secrets with us, people.
Yep.
I don't get to go as often as I'd like. Share your secrets with me. So,
So that being said, let's wrap this show up. And I want to do a huge shout out of thanks to all of our Patreons as well. We've got some Moonlight Magic bookings that we had this week coming out, and hopefully we'll be doing some more Patreon exclusive content for you guys as well and events. Huge shout out of thanks to everybody at World of DVC, DVC Rental Store, DVC Resale Market, and Monera Financial for their continued support through season 8 of our shows. And with that being said and done, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will be back next week. Have a good night, everybody.
good night, everybody.